So now it's done, and then we check my git status. We'll see that my local master is behind the remote master by 2 commits. So we can go ahead and do a git pull, okay, and that will pull this in, okay. And now if I do a git log -1 line, I will see, okay, so now my local master is fully updated with my remote master, right? It's fully updated. But the problem now is, what about now? I have an ongoing local branch, right? Remember, I was halfway through my own local branch. So remember, I was working on my local branch. It was called More Humans. So right now, I have my own local branch called More Humans. So if I do git log -1 line -all, you can see that I still have this ongoing branch which I'm still developing, right? I'm still developing this branch. It's not complete yet, okay? So let's see, let's review the situation now. Developer B is still halfway through their branch development, which is feature more humans. They haven't completed their development, but developer A somehow finished first. So they have merged their branch into the master branch. So their branch was the more animals branch that's been merged into a master branch. So now the remote master branch has got all the contents of more animals. Now I pull that latest remote master branch to my local master branch. Okay, so now for developer B, my local master branch for developer B is fully updated, but the problem now is this feature branch which I am developing, that means developer B is working, is still not fully updated with these latest changes. So this is now that one extra step we now need to do, which I'm going to demonstrate to you, and then we can end this workshop here. So this is the final step here, which is you need to actually go back to your, so we say git checkout feature / more humans. So I'm going to switch back to my more humans branch. So now in this branch, I'm going to merge in the content of master. All right, so let's just clearly again understand the logic, right? What am I trying to do here, right? So again, let's recap, right? The situation just now was that the first person to finish their work on the feature branch was developer A. Developer A created a pull request. They merged in their feature branch, which is the feature more animals, into the remote master. So the remote master is now fully updated or fully merged in with the feature more animals. Then what developer B did was they pulled down the contents of the remote master to update their local master. So now the local master is completely updated, and the final step is developer B needs to update their local feature branch. Why? It's because they haven't completed their feature branch yet. That means they do not know whether there's some new things that was added to the remote master which can currently influence their local feature branch. Their local feature branch is feature more humans. It's still halfway in development. It's not complete. So that means it is their responsibility to merge the latest contents of the master into their feature more humans. That is exactly what we are doing here, right? So now I type git merge master, press enter, and then it's going to come up with this thing. It says merge branch master into feature more humans. This is something we have seen before. So we can click X to close this, and then it will do the merge. And this is a very straightforward merge. It's a fast forward merge, and everything is there. Okay, so this is now okay. And so now if everything is okay, we can just check it now. We are on the feature more humans branch. You can say git log -1 line just to check that we have merged in all the commits. And yes, we can now see that my feature more humans branch is now fully merged in. We actually merged in the content from my local master branch. So that means all the new content, which is the dangerous one, the nice pet, all the additional animals, now I already have in my local feature branch, my more humans branch. Okay, which is exactly what I want to do. Okay, and now that I've got that, I can also now update my remote feature branch. So the last step now is I do a git push and that will update my remote feature branch. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do a git push. And we wait for this to complete, and now we go. Okay, so now if we go back now to my branches now, or to my commits now, we can see that there is, in fact, we go back to my feature more humans now. Okay, so now we can see the feature more humans branch now is fully updated. It includes all the changes from the feature more animals branch, which was actually merged into the remote master and then also downloaded to the local master. And then on my local repository, I merged from my local master into my feature branch, and then now from my local feature branch, I push it up to my remote feature branch. Okay, so now this is complete, and then we can continue to do my development work. So that means now, assuming developer A has already gone off for holiday, developer B will continue to work in the usual way. They'll continue to add in more comments to their feature branch. And when this feature branch is done, what will they do? They will create a pull request, and then developer A will approve the pull request. And then basically this branch will be merged into the remote master. And then what will happen? Everybody else will pull down from the remote master to their local master, and then from the local master they will merge into their ongoing feature branch. And this goes on over and over and over again until the project is complete. Okay, so at this point of time, we have already completed every possible step for a complete development workflow. And like I said, this is a kind of intermediate level complexity. It's not the most complex one. It's also not the most simplest one. If you want a simpler workflow, feel free to go ahead and do a simpler workflow. Okay, so this is what I've done so far. And what you can, if you want, if you have time, you can go ahead and do this. I think by now you kind of understand what I'm trying to do. The final lap that you may want to do is how to resolve merge conflicts from different feature branches. So you can go ahead and, if you have time, go ahead and do that on your own. But I think at this point of time, we have covered everything you need for a complete development workflow. Okay, so thank you all so much for spending time until the end to see this. And I wish you all the best of luck in your future work on Git. Okay, if you have not completed the link yet, then please click on the link below, and the link for the class evaluation, please go ahead and click on that and then complete it, and then you're good to go. All right, so thank you all again so much for staying until the end. I apologize for the delay. I wish you guys all the best in your work on Git. Okay, any questions before I leave? Okay, no questions. So then all the best then. I will leave this workshop right now. All right, thanks. Okay, there was a question from Boon Chun. Is there any method to change the username and email of an author for a previous commit at the remote branch? Okay, so Boon Chun, I think the problem here is you can't change the username and email of an author. So I think what Boon Chun is asking, if you look at Boon Chun's question, Boon Chun is saying like, okay, let's say there was this previous commit, right? That was done by Victor Tan, right? And somehow, you know, it was not recorded correctly. It wasn't Victor Tan who actually did this. Wait, hang on. Let me share my screen. So because you're not seeing my screen. Okay, so this is the question from Boon Chun. So let me just quickly address Boon Chun's question. So Boon Chun's question is there any method to change? I'll just copy Boon Chun's question so everybody can see it. Okay. So Boon Chun actually asked me this question: is there any method to change the username and email of an author for a previous commit at the remote branch? So what Boon Chun is saying is, let's say in the past we had a commit like this. Let's say this commit, right? And this commit is recorded as being done by Victor Tan. okay, at this particular period of time with a particular email address. Okay, and Boon Chun is saying, hey, can I change this instead of Victor Tan? Can I change this to, I don't know, Superman or Spider-Man or whatever, right? That is, I think, what Boon Chun is asking. And I don't believe there's a way to do that, unfortunately. Okay, and you might be wondering, why can't I do that? I should be able to do that, right? See, the problem is, or not the problem now, but the idea of Git is it's supposed to faithfully record what actually happened, right? That's the whole idea of Git, right? It's supposed to faithfully record who did what at what time and what was done, right? That's the whole idea of version control. You want to know which developer wrote what piece of code at what time and when was it committed. You want this information. So if Boon Chun, if you allow anybody to go inside the repository and change the name of the committer and then also change the code in the commit, then you are literally messing up the entire repository workflow, or the whole entire repository structure. Okay, so if you actually, let's say really you forgot, you put in the wrong name, right? So instead of, let's say it's actually Superman, but you put Victor Tan, right? So then you have to actually put in another new commit and say, correct this previous commit and say, okay, the previous commit was actually created by Victor Tan. So maybe from this commit that you made a message, you actually have to go back there, create a branch from it, put a new commit, and that new commit is going to be in the name of the correct person, and then you say, corrected commit, this is actually done by Superman. Like that. You literally have to put in a new commit to correct your previous commit. Okay, so that people will know actually this Victor Tan thing was actually not correct, and you are creating now a new commit from a branch that comes out from it. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, that is pretty complicated, but like I said, the whole idea of Git is it's not supposed to allow you to modify stuff in the repository. If you allow everybody to just modify whatever they want, the repository will just collapse overnight. Okay, so that's the answer, Boon Chun. I hope that's satisfactory for you. Any other questions from anyone else? Okay, doesn't appear to be. So, okay then, and all the best in your Git journey. Okay, thank you all so much again for staying on until the end. So let me leave now.